Hey, welcome back. All right, so this is our third series of our Photoshop Mockup video series. I wanted to show you something real quick. Hopefully you see it the same way I see it, because I can't see the communities how you guys view it. However, so I was in the community and I wanted to check the video to see if the resolution was working well. And at first, when I started playing it, it was looking kind of crazy and blurry, and I was like, "Oh man, this is horrible." But when I chose this button to go in full screen, um, the it became clear, so more clear. So I'm not sure if you guys see if your button looks like this, but if you see a full screen, then the video might not be as blurry as far as the menus and stuff like that to the right. So I want to make sure that you guys can see that. So I wanted to show you that just in case you're having the same issue. I know some of you told me that the code and stuff is blurry, but when I went to full screen, it wasn't. So if you're having any issues and stuff is blurry, check to see it in full screen and see if it's less blurry. I'd love to get your feedback on that just so that I know. All right, enough with that. We're in Photoshop now, so let's go back to the Photoshop. All right. So last video, I showed you guys the setup of this one. So what I'm going to do now is this one I'm just going to use as a reference. However, I'm going to go to File. Okay. So I want to show you guys from scratch how to do this. So we're going to set up our document now. So I'm going to File New. And yours might look different. Yours might have come in like this, or maybe yours might have came in like this. I don't know. Whatever it came in as, I set it to something different so that we can do this from scratch. We want to set this preset where it says preset. We want to go for web. So on the preset, we want to choose category of web. When we choose the category of web, we'll see size. We can choose a multitude of sizes inside of here, or we can choose a custom size. But what we're going to do, or what we did in class, and you might say, oh, well, I want my website to be this, or I want my website to be that. Whatever you want your website to be is fine. I'm going to choose, but just remember, you have to keep in mind the viewer's browser that they're viewing it on and the space of the sidebars. So whatever you make it, just keep that in mind. I like to keep mine at either this 1260 by 1024, but just to make sure that everyone can see it, I like to do 1024 by 768. So I'm going to do that, 1024 by 768. I'm going to choose that one. And then it tells me my width and my height, making sure it's in pixels because it's in web mode as it would be. The resolution would say 72. It'll be RGB. All of that's looking good. All the defaults. Now, I'm going to name this one. So I'm just going to name it Web Class Mockup. And what did I name the last one? Alright, this one's Web Class Mockup. I like to keep all my stuff together, just to stick with, oh, look at that. I'll tell you. Alright, let's do this again. Web Class Mockup. Alright, so just not to be confused with the one that's over here, which is Web Photo Mockup. Alright, once I have this set, I'm going to choose OK. Now, you saw that I named it, and really all that name did was name it from here. It's not saved at all. So just because we named it does not mean it's saved, and you'll see that when we go to save our next one. Also, the files that we used in the last one, for those of you who weren't in class, I will put them on Google Drive sometime later on so that you guys can see it, or so that you guys can go grab it and give you access to it. Just let me know, just in case I forget. So if I don't have them up there, send me an email. Hey, they're not up here, and I'll definitely get those up there. But I think I'll remember. We shall see. All right, so Web Class Mockup. All right, so I have this set up for me. And one of the first things I like to do is I like to go ahead and change out this background, because see how it's locked? we can unlock a background two ways. There's actually more ways than that, but we're going to talk about two ways. One way is we can double click on it and it says layer 0. So we can double click on it and name it and then choose OK. And then that will unlock it. Okay. Or I'm going to undo that just so I can show you the other way. The other way is we can take this lock that's on here and we can throw it in the trash can. And then it's going to do the same exact thing except for nothing's going to open up. So whichever way you choose, go ahead and unlock the background. I like to do this because if I double click it, it kills two things at once, whereas I can go ahead, it gives me the dialog box to go ahead and rename it instantly, and then I'm done. So I'm going to name this one body because I know that this is going to be my background area and it's going to be body. All right, that being that, which is so cool. One thing I tried to show the class, but because of our restrictions with the web, we couldn't, which was Adobe Cooler. I love Adobe Cooler. If you guys don't know about Adobe Cooler, and I think only 1 or 2 people in class did, oh, it is awesome. You know how you go to pick colors, and sometimes you might not be the best at picking colors, or the colors are just too time consuming and stuff like that. Adobe in all of their products has built-in Cooler. So the way that you can get to Cooler is you'll go to Window, Extensions, and look at there, Adobe Cooler. So if we click on that, it has Cooler built right into into Photoshop. You could also go to a website, which is awesome, and download this, and it's cooler.adobe.com. And then you can set it up. You can make up your own schemes. I already searched for seasons, and that's why seasons are in here. You see melon season, spectrum season, all those seasons inside of my document. Uh-oh, look, my internet says that it, okay, there we go. All right, so the internet's winging out a little bit. But anyway, you can type whatever you want, and it'll bring that up for you. So I could type candy apple. And then when the internet is working well, which it is because I'm doing this recording, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with the internet right now. But if I type candy apple, as you guys have probably done at home, all of your swatches or swatches that other people have created, including Adobe developers and people like that, will come up and it'll show up for you. So this is just one of those resources that is awesome and is amazing. Like I said, I kind of have my schemes already set in here. These are from the seasons that I collected. Also, and I know you do, if you have a whole bunch of swatches in here and you're not planning on using them, a way to change this, and I showed the class this too, is you can go to the swatches flyout menu, and then you can go to preset manager. When you're in preset manager, you can highlight whatever swatches you don't plan to use, and you can go to the end. Let's say I'm not going to use any of these. All right. And I can hold shift. So I didn't do anything. The only thing I did was click in the beginning, not holding anything. So I clicked to select it. You'll see that box highlighted. And then when I get to the last one that I want to delete, I'm going to hold shift and click. And now it's highlighted everything up to the point. And then I can choose delete. And it'll delete all of those swatches for me. So now what I have are my tints of gray and then all of the colors for my for the seasons, the different seasons that I plan to use. Okay, so that's another little tip for you. I'm gonna hit done, and it's done. So now I just have all the colors that I can use for this. Okay, so for my body, like I said, I'm freestyling it. I'm not gonna use the same exact look that I had before. I like to challenge color. I am one of those people. So that being said, I think I'm going to use purple. All right, so to use purple though, in body, notice body is really just the whole area of fill, right? Because if we look at this box, it's just this area. So we're going to fill it in. So I'm going to use, what did I say, purple? I don't know how this is going to look. I'm probably going to change this color out later. But anyway, I'm going to select purple. And the reason I'm selecting purple, and you can't see my box down here, is so that, let me see if I can resize this window. All right, let me change my toolbar for a second. Let's see. All right, so now I just changed the toolbar to where it's two layers. And the way that you do that is this little arrow over here on the side. You can click that and it'll expand your toolbox so that it becomes two columns. All right, so now I have the toolbox selected. I have two columns set up. So what I'm going to do next is I set the foreground color when I chose that color and made it purple. So I'm going to fill in this color, and there's several ways to fill in the color. I like shortcut keys. If I choose Alt Delete, this is the shortcut. Alt Delete fills in my foreground color. Okay, I can also choose Command Delete, and what Command Delete is going to do is going to fill it in with the background color. That's why it's white now. So Alt Delete is a shortcut to fill it with the foreground color. Command Delete is a shortcut to fill it with the background color. Okay, and the way you get the foreground and background, foreground is over here in the swatch, and background is over here in my swatches panel. I mean, not swatch, sorry, in my color picker. So I'm gonna go back to Alt Delete. Another way to fill it with color is I can go to Edit, and I can go down to Fill, and then I can choose Use Foreground Color, and it's going to use that purple that's there, or I can choose Use Background Color, and it's going to use that white that's there. Also in here, I can choose any color, and it'll change it to any color I want. So I'm going to choose OK, and then when I choose OK, you'll see that it filled in with the background color. Again, Alt Delete fills it with the foreground color. Command Delete fills it with the background color. I'm going to choose Alt Delete again so that I can get my foreground color. Okay, so I chose the purple. Lead purple is my body. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and give this a wrapper, right? So to go ahead and set up my wrapper, I'm going to choose a tool. Now my tools are different because I'm choosing a different tool for you guys. I have it set up differently. So I'm going to choose the rounded rectangle tool. All right, so I made sure. Anytime you see this little tear off, and like I said, I know you guys know Photoshop. Anytime you see this little tear off, that means that there's more tools hitting underneath. The little tear off is a little half corner on the right of the tool, the bottom right of the tool. So I'm going to choose the rounded rectangle tool. And the way I get to it is to hold it. Take my mouse over the tool, hold it, and then I can get the rounded rectangle tool. Now, I could just draw this out, but I know that I kind of want it to be precise. Like, I know that I want my wrapper to be, say, 960 pixels, okay? Because that's what I decided. So I'm just going to click one time, and when I click one time, it gives me a dialog box. I have this dialog box, and at this point, I can start typing in the width and the height that I want. So I said that I want it to be 960 pixels in width, and height. Since this is the wrapper, I'll go ahead and make it let's say 700. And then I have my rounded rounded rectangle. It's at 10 pixels. I kind of like 20 pixels, so I'm going to go ahead and label all these 20 pixels. And this is just a curve. This is how much that rectangle is going to curve. I'm going to choose from center, although it barely works. And I'm going to choose OK. Now, I have the rounded rectangle. It shows up. And then it shows up with these properties. You see the properties panel shows up. Notice it is that same color purple. There is no stroke. It's 3 points. So it's giving me all the information. It's telling me my width is 960. My height is this. My X is here, my Y is here, and then and I have the rounding of 20 pixels around it. It's also giving me some more information, but I think I have enough. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and change the color of this background from purple so that I can tell the difference. I'm going to change it to this orange. For now, that's not as beautiful as I want it to be, but for now. Also, I want to show you that you can control your X and your Y. Now, I don't know the exact math that I want this to be, so I'm just going to play around with it and then see where it goes. All right, so it's at 20. So maybe now I want it to be at, I'm going to say 0. Not 0. Okay, so now it's lining up with this. This is, if I knew where I wanted it to be from the beginning, this would be awesome. But right now, I'm just going to set it at 0, just so that I could go in there and play with it. But I just want to show you this panel just so you can see that you can change the properties right here if you wanted to. All right. All right. With this set, I'm going to just hit Command A. What Command A does is it selects the background and it selects that rectangle. So it selects everything for me. Okay. Usually when I hit Command A, I need to select a different tool because remember I had it at the round the rectangle tool. Okay, so it's still showing me the round the rectangle. I want to select the move tool. The move tool is going to be our friend. So again, I hit Command A so that I can select everything. I'm going to choose the move tool because what I want to do now is I want to center this rectangle to my document. Okay, I want to center it horizontally and I want to center it vertically. So when I chose the move tool, it gave me the options up here in my properties panel that I can go ahead and align this vertically. See how now it's aligned in the center of my document, and now I want to align it horizontally, and it's aligned horizontally. Okay, so now I have it centered where I want it to be, and I'm going to hit Command D to deselect those marching ants and to say, yes, this is what I want. Okay. Now, I'm not happy with this color. Okay. I think I want a different color. I'm not really feeling this one. So the cool thing about using the rounded rectangle tool is it's considered a vector shape tool. With it being a vector shape tool, it's very easy to change the color. It's also very easy to change the size if I needed to. If I needed to change the size, I can go to Command T as in transform. What? And then I could change the size of this. It gives me the control handles. If I needed to bring it in some, I could do that. I could hold Alt and Shift and bring it in proportionately. I could bring in the edges. I could do whatever. I'm going to escape that though because that's not what I want to do. But just so you know, I can. But if I want to change the color, you guys see this little, what is it? This little vector shape symbol right here inside the layers panel. If I double click on that, it gives me the color picker. And at this point, all I'd have to do is click inside of here to make this a different color. If I wanted to do green, I want to see what blue looks like. If I want to see what this light blue looks like. This one, if I want to play around with that one maybe, I can. It just gives me additional options to play with. I think I'm going to go with this lighter yellow. I don't know. But for now, yeah, I like the lighter colors with it. So I'm going to choose OK. So this is how we bring the shape in, how we change the color of any shape. I apologize for this little reminder that's coming in. Again, I told you I changed the resolution. With changing the resolution, it made my the size of my screen different, and now we're getting some of my reminders that I have over here. All right, but in any event, I want this to be the wrapper. Again, to make this a folder, what I can do, I could just hit Command G, which is my shortcut key, and it's going to group it inside of a folder, and it'll make a folder. I'm going to undo that. I could also go down here to this create a new group folder. See this folder that's down here? You can't see the bottom part, so I'm just going to follow my mouse down here to the folder. I'm going to choose that, and it makes a new group. I can name it, and then I can put this rounded rectangle into that group. Or I could, with this selected, I could go to this flyout panel, which is outside the screen. Hang on, let me bring this up some so you guys can see it. All right, let's see. I could go to this flyout panel, and then I can choose new group from layers. I can choose new group too, and it'll make a folder, and then I will select it. But I can choose new group from layers, and then I can name this whatever I want to name it, and it'll make the group that way inside of there. So there I showed you 3 ways to do it. The best way I like to do though is to just hit Command G because I'm a shortcut kind of girl. And I'm going to name this one wrapper. And now the rounded rectangle sits inside a wrapper, inside the subgroup. So now I have wrapper and I have body. Okay, so we've just created the wrapper and the body. We've changed the color, we've changed the size, and we've set that up. So now what we're going to do is in the next videos, we're going to create the remaining parts of the site, making changes and adjustments as needed. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. And when we come back, we will continue with our mockup.